because we've talked about what's been going on with this Karen Reed case, and now we're actually receiving more details, more intricate details about how much was paid to some of the prosecutors, how much was paid. As we know how much they paid Aperture, right? That was probably, they way overpaid, especially comparing and seeing how much the defense paid to get their own experts in there. Anyway, we're going to talk about how much was actually spent on this Karen Reed trial and what specifically some of the prosecutors and Hank Brennan specifically got paid during this trial. It's insane, guys. Check this out.
25 Investigates has been working to learn how much the Karen Reed murder retrial cost taxpayers. And late this afternoon, we received new records from the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office. Investigative reporter Ted Daniel joins us now. And Ted, these have to do with Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan.
Mark, the DA's office hired Hank Brennan to prosecute this case after the first trial ended in a hung jury. We have the contract here.
Wow.
Brennan was paid $250 an hour, and with all the lawyering in this case from both sides, that added up quickly. The documents we received cover 7 date ranges from September of last year through the day the verdict came down last month.
Sheesh.
Brennan's law firm submitted more than 2,200 hours. The price tag, more than $500,000.
Oh my goodness, $500,000. Hold on, guys. Let's look at this breakdown. Yo, Hank was making the bag. Shout out to Hank. He's out here getting the bat. Look at this breakdown. All right, so we had, here's the amount. At $250 an hour, we had 283 hours here, $70,000. Sheesh. 200 hours here for the month of November. 50,000. He made $50,000 in November. And December, 52. What was this going through? 10 days, he made $30,000, 100 hours, 114 hours, 28,000, 120. Wait, hold on. 653 hours from January 26th through March 31st. Oh my goodness, $163,000. So obviously we know, guys, he was in court. So this was when the court proceedings were taking place. Almost 3 times the amount since September. They started the hearings and everything. Wow.
Received covers 7 date ranges from September of last year through the day the verdict came down last month. Brennan's law firm submitted more than 2,200 hours. The price tag, more than $500,000. $566,000 is the total. Those hours covered meetings, discovery, phone conferences, trial and witness prep, and of course, all the hours of the trial and jury deliberations. So Brennan's bill exceeds the yearly salary of Norfolk County District Attorney Michael Morrissey. State payroll records show he earned $205,000 in 2024.
Yeah, that's crazy.
DA Morrissey has yet to publicly reveal why he brought in someone from the outside instead of using one of his assistant DAs. We'll continue to add all the costs from the retrial as the numbers come in. For 25 Investigates, I'm Ted Daniel.
Yeah, so think about that for a second, because I was questioning from the beginning, why did they retry this? Not only why did they retry it, but why did Hank Brennan and his law firm decide to take this on? Well, now we see maybe a little bit of a reason why. Yo, this man was getting paid. Let me rewind this. Look how much he got for this in 1 month. $163,000. Sheesh. That is amazing. September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. 10 months, he made $500,000. Would y'all be down for that? Would y'all have taken this? Would y'all have been a prosecutor on this case for $500,000? I mean, hey, some of you might.
Team, the cost of the Karen Reed retrial is staggering. The NBC 10i team obtained documents outlining one major expense.
Yeah, Reed was ultimately cleared of all the charges in her Boston police officer boyfriend's death, except OUI. Both trials easily cost the Commonwealth way over $1 million. Just the special prosecutor in the retrial cost taxpayers more than $500,000. Tonight, team's Mike Cirillo live in the studio with reaction from taxpayers.
And we heard how much Aperture cost. Nearly that much, right? It nearly costs the Commonwealth that much just to hire Aperture. And then they spent this much on Hank. Woo!
And Patrice, we knew this retrial would be expensive, and these documents prove it. $566,000, all taxpayer money for Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan. That amount is still shocking tonight for some taxpayers I spoke with, and it's just one expense of the second trial.
I bet they're pissed.
More than $500,000 for Hank Brennan.
Wow, that's crazy.
Do you think this was a good use of funds?
I do not feel like it was a good use of funds,
that's crazy.
but there is a right for due process.
Massachusetts taxpayers taking a $500,000 hit in Karen Reed's retrial. Records obtained by the NBC10 I-Team show Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan billed the Commonwealth $566,000. That's for more than 2,000 hours of work at a rate of $250 an hour.
No doubt it was a lot of work that Mr. Brennan had to do,
Yeah.
but there were also prosecutors within the state of Massachusetts that likely could have done the same job that he did.
NBC10 legal analyst Austin Dana says there are a number of reasons the Commonwealth likely opted to bring in a special prosecutor, among them allegations of corruption and the sheer number of eyeballs on the retrial.
So you want that?
But that's crazy, though, because Michael Morrissey is one of the people that the eyeballs are on. Morrissey is one of the people they're saying is corrupt. So they're bringing in someone from the outside who was hired by the guy they're saying is corrupt. That doesn't make sense.
That due process. You want her to have a fair trial, but at the same time, to what end? To the cost of $566,000? I don't know. Maybe not.
Ultimately, Reed was cleared of the most serious charges, but before the case went to the jury,
You see more than one hole in the back of his sweatshirt.
Brennan owned up to what could have been a more costly mistake, potentially leading to a mistrial. Showing a hoodie to jurors without first clarifying holes in it had been cut during the investigation. Do you think there may have been better ways to spend?
Oh, I've got a sound effect for that too.
It appears that I made a mistake.
We remember when that happened, right, guys?
Holes in it had been cut during the investigation. Do you think there may have been better ways to spend that kind of taxpayer money?
Yes, for sure. There are lots of things that we could have done. We have roads, we need school programs. I have a disability, my niece has a disability. You know how hard it is for folks to get special education or do anything like that?
$500,000 could probably help.
Likely isn't the only bill we'll see. Taxpayers should also be on the hook for expert witnesses brought in by the Commonwealth. Of course, as we get more numbers, we'll bring them to you. But for now, live in the studio, Mike.
Yep, remember, as I mentioned, Aperture cost them nearly the same amount, which is insane. Which is absolutely insane. But the defense hired ACA, which did a wildly better job than Aperture did, and they paid them less than $100,000. Let's see what they have to say over at News 25. Payroll records reveal how much Karen Reed's retrial costs Denham Police Department. The high-profile murder trial of Karen Reed cost the Denham Police Department tens of thousands of dollars as informed officers worked to maintain public safety for large crowds of people who gathered day after day outside of Norfolk Superior Court. On Wednesday, Boston 25 obtained payroll data in response to the public records request that showed exactly how much Denham police paid in overtime for more than 170 shifts. Work by police officers and sergeants assigned to the courthouse crowd control from the start of jury selection on April 1st through the moment the verdict was announced on June 18th. What a mess. On many days during Karen Reed's retrial, up to 5 members of the department were assigned to the courthouse, working shifts that lasted up to 9 hours, in some cases across the areas of Ames, High Court, Church, and Bullard Streets, the records show. On the day Karen Reed was acquitted of murder and manslaughter in the death of John O'Keefe, her Boston police officer boyfriend, 10 officers working shifts of varying lengths were on hand to facilitate the safety of hundreds of anxious supporters who flocked to the courthouse to learn Reed's fate. When the verdict was ultimately announced, officers maintained peace as conflict fell, and people dressed in pink erupt into cheers chanting "Free Karen Reed." In total, Denham police racked up $92,937.77 in overtime pay for 1,253 hours worked by law enforcement, the records show. At least 4 officers were paid an overtime rate of at least $95 an hour, while no officer earned a rate less than $46 an hour. Get your money, man. Reed's highly publicized case drew national attention. Prosecutors alleged that Reed hit O'Keefe. Okay, we know all about that, but man, Denham County, y'all should be outraged. The Commonwealth was out there going crazy. I see. Y'all have to let me know what you think about this in the comments, in the chat. I have one more thing I want to get to that's somewhat related, and I see a lot of y'all have been talking about it as well. We got to talk about the commissioner, Michael Cox. Michael Cox here completely throws someone else during this Karen Reed trial under the bus, which is absolutely wild to see. Shout out to David for posting this in this absolutely hilarious statement where he's talking about Officer Dever and that he didn't even know that she was on the Karen Reed case. Check this out. We have David says Boston Police Commissioner Michael Cox denies accusations made by the defense that during the Karen Reed's trial that he pressured one of his officers to change her testimony. Officer Kelly Dever, who used to work for Canton PD, said she had a false memory about seeing someone near Reed's SUV. Check this out.
Your name came up during the recent Karen Reed trial. You got a visit from Officer Kelly Dever. The defense implied that you influenced.
Do the right thing, he said.
Do you want to respond to that?
I have nothing to do with. I have nothing to do with Karen Reed. Matter of fact, I didn't even know this person was associated with the Karen Reed case. You know, I have an organization full of over 3,000 people.
Interesting.
We support all our folks, and the reality is that I get information passed on, whether people are high or low, and I encourage everyone, right? And if you're going to work here and you belong here, then we're going to encourage you. I have no idea what they're talking about with Karen Reed. It had nothing to do with Karen Reed. No discussion about
Did you
Karen.
tell Officer
y'all
Dever
believe
to
him?
do the right thing?
I didn't know she was even associated with that case. So, I don't know. I was struck like, what do I have to do with the Karen Reed race? I never have said those words together.
Now, Michael, come on, Michael. Commissioner Cox, come on, man. We just went through and we laid out the police presence that was there. We went through and laid out how much that Hank Brennan was getting paid. We talked about how much you guys pay Aperture. And you're going to tell me you had no idea that Officer Kelly Dever, who you allegedly met with, was not involved in this case? Bro, come on. Are you serious?
And so the fact is, it's much to do about nothing. We have employees here that we have to develop and encourage and do things, and I do that for tons of our employees.
Do you feel that you were inappropriately drawn into this as some sort of boogeyman?
That case is over, and we've got a lot of other stuff to talk about. I have nothing to do with Karen Reed. I was in the state of Michigan.
Thank you, Commissioner.
All right, so he said he was in the state of Michigan. What does Aiden have to say about this? Shout out to Turtle Boy. He says Commissioner Cox denies ever speaking with Kelly Dever about the Karen Reed trial. Who's lying, him or her? Did she just have another false memory about the commissioner calling her up to his office, telling her to do the right thing and reminding her that she wasn't working at the time? She didn't see what she thought she saw. He says, I believe him. Dang. Nasty work out there. I tell y'all this all the time. Stay on this side of the law. You don't want to be over there with them. You don't want to have to deal with these people. It's tough out here. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments in the chat. Who's lying? And should Hank Brennan pay for our therapy after we had to watch this entire trial? He's got the money. Let me know.